Today I'm submitting my James Bond screen test since I have all the sex appeal, swagger, and sophistication of Mr. Bean, but really I'm here dressed to match my Aston Martin DB7 because I want to show you all the things that I love about my Aston Martin. I love this thing so much that I want to marry it, but there are some annoyances. I think my biggest attraction to this Aston Martin is it has one foot firmly placed in the classic car side of things. It's just old enough to be a classic, to remind you of that James Bond Aston Martin DB5 with the straight six engine, even though this one's a Jaguar engine technically. But still, it's simple enough, but it's also modern enough that you can actually diagnose what's going on with this car, fix it yourself, and actually make it to your destination. And I have no fears that my mechanic will have any problems at all working on this thing. Right, Wizard?
Work on your Aston Martin.
Wizard! Hello, you're looking sharp too.
Yeah.
What an occasion. We both wore the same thing on the same day. Who would have thought?
Maybe we're fighting over the same woman here.
Oh, yes, yes. So, what do you like about my Aston Martin?
I like that underneath the skin it's a Jaguar. And it'd be easy to work on.
Don't tell people that. It is, yes, and we do need you to work on it soon. There's some things that I'll show you all in a bit, but we've got a DeLorean and an M5 to get out of the way first, so.
Yeah,
all right.
that's right.
Well, I'll continue on this. You can go out to, you were going to McDonald's or something dressed like that?
Yeah, I was going to get me a cheeseburger Happy Meal.
Perfect, okay, all right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Wizard. All right. Wizard, everybody. Yes, as the Wizard said, a lot of these parts under here are Jaguar, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's also a lot of Ford bits, and if something breaks, unlike a lot of specialty cars, you could match up the part number to a generic Ford or Jaguar part, and you're back in business for a reasonable amount of money, so it's not a total disaster when things break. As for the styling, everybody thinks it's a Jaguar, which actually this design was originally intended to be the replacement for the Jaguar XJS, but personally, I think it's beautiful. It's perfect, understated Britishness. And these early iterations are particularly my favorite with these turbine wheels. And before they went with the V12 cars, not that the V12's bad, but then they started tacking on body kits to make it look more aggressive, and it doesn't look as good. I do have one gripe with the car though, and that's back here. This third brake light is sitting outside of the window, and this is a really low mileage, nice car. It's always been garaged, but I suspect that plastic brittle piece is going to get really fragile with age, and just blowing on it, it'll break one day, and then I'll never be able to find that part. But otherwise, beautiful, beautiful. But driving is also very, very nice. And it's starting. Oh, I love this interior. Once again, an old school, proper Aston Martin British car with thick leather hides everywhere that smell so good. But I do have one major gripe with the design, and that's the center console. It is massive, and it cuts into the legroom totally needlessly. Otherwise, this would be a pretty spacious cabin. I guess they wanted a little extra leather down here. Looks good, but not very practical. And then, of course, the other thing I don't like is this. Oh, that's a terrible noise. Yeah. That's my blower motor for my air conditioning, and it's deep inside the dashboard. The entire interior has to be basically ripped out for that to get fixed. Darn it. And I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, why don't you just go buy a used Jaguar XK8 or XKR and get the V8 supercharged, which would have sold for less money than this. This car was $25,007 when I bought it at auction. And the main reason for that is this, my manual transmission. You cannot get an XK8 or an XKR in the United States with a manual transmission. You just can't. And if you can find one of these, buy it, because it's really rare in the Aston Martin world out here too, since they only sold these by the hundreds each year, and a lot of them are automatics. Also, a lot of people say that I should have gotten the V12 one since they sell for about the same money, but I'm really not missing that V12 all that much. This supercharger gives it plenty of power, and I can actually run this car through the gears and not be at illegal speeds. I'm actually having fun at 30 miles an hour right now. Woo. Oh, that is such a great noise. I love this thing. So because it's a classic, yet it's so usable and reliable as a daily driver, I absolutely love this thing. I love it so much that when I drive it, I forget things, really important things, like why I got in the car to drive in the first place. Like, what was I supposed to be doing right now? Those bells? Oh crap. Thank you for watching.